And so it is, Divine Mother. Let us open our beautiful sacred hearts. We are the ones who can open and close. So let us open in love for her, in love for the divine. And really, the mother is the most tangible. She's so tangible because she really is the mother of form. She is the mother of the 5 elements. She is the mother of creation. She is the mother in you. She really is, isn't she? And so she is now, once again, even more present than ever. Last night, I don't know how you guys slept. I couldn't sleep, but then I got to watch this. I got to watch how she came as the beautiful Holy Dove, the Holy Spirit. So we are in a new place within Cosmos. I know that maybe our scientists might not realize it just yet, but we are changing constantly the exposure of our beloved Maravati, our beautiful planet. We are exposing her to more and more and more light. We are doing it safely, little by little, right? Because this time it's the celestial fire. It is not a fire of distraction, celestial fire. And so with these celestial fires, we are constantly raising the ability of this beloved planet and us, humanity, to receive more and more and more light. In 2015, I had this incredible experience where I got to meet Source and really hang out with Source. And I always say, you know, all the meditations that we do, all the breathing techniques that we do, they have to lead to something, right? Because I would be so discouraged if it never led to anything. And so it was after studying with Yogananda for 2 years, and he was preparing, you know, the way by aligning the most important elements of us, aligning the human self so much more with the soul. And then after the soul, aligning the soul with the spirit. So these are different bodies that need to be aligned so that we can have really one-on-one encounter with Source, face to face. And it is for all of us the same thing. We need to be in alignment. And so in 2015, I finally had some fruit of this labor. And so Source was explaining to me how around Source, when you look at Source, you will see the very big beings. And this is the picture that I actually then created in 2015. It's this, not that I created it, but I was looking for pictures and long story short. Anyway, this is it. This is what it looked like, Rainbow Universe. And Source was at the center of it. It was the central source. And the central source has immense, immense emanation of light and of electricity. And so when you are near it, you have to be able to handle it. And we are in our light bodies, beautiful stars. And so it makes sense that we too want to be exactly where we can actually thrive, and so that it's not too intense or too far away. So it is through this power that is not electric, but it's actually magnetism, that we are then drawn closer and closer and closer to that emanating source. Now, all the big beings that we know in creation, they of course can handle the light, they can handle the electricity, they go close, they are so drawn to be very close to source. But let's say if I am a star that just is, you know, just in becoming, then I don't want to be burned by source. I want to be somewhere a little bit far away, you know, looking at it all, but I want to be in my comfort zone and always pulled towards more. And so it is with Mother Earth. So it is with our beautiful cosmic Maravati. She too needs to be able to handle the electricity, the magnetism, the intensity of light. And so we always move her whenever she's ready and whenever we are ready with her. You know that we are plugged into her. When we are on this beautiful planet, we become part of her. And so we are really in this symbiotic relationship. Well, ideally we should be, where we simply support each other, not only as you and me as human beings, but we also support the earth and she supports us. I think she definitely supports us, and she's hoping that humanity can start supporting her too. So the earth, She has a vibration, just like all of these beautiful planetary logos and solar logos. They have vibration, just like you have a vibration. Every single one of us is a musical instrument, and together we are part of this orchestra. And so the question always is, what music are we playing? Are we in tune? Are we out of tune? And so as we do these beautiful meditations with Oren, we are always becoming more attuned to that which actually is our divine self. The divine self is a beautiful, pure tone of who you are, very unique, and yet you belong into the orchestra. And so the earth, once again, her position once again has been adjusted. So we went through the first adjustment in 2021. And now we've had the second adjustment into even more of solar light. And it is our path of ascension to be actually exposed to more and more and more solar light. Now, this is all an amazing, amazing adventure that we came here for, of course. And I always say this lifetime is very different from anything we experienced before. This lifetime is a lifetime of, first, as you know, always cleaning up. We are cleaning up whatever mess. And that mess here, as you know, is always life force. How life force was not seen. And sometimes when we don't see something, it seems like it doesn't matter. And yet life force is actually visible. If we want to see, then we will see this beautiful rainbow flow. Let's take a look at the picture of life force. Here you have how she moves through all things. And here we have also a beautiful photo of life force, of this amazing consciousness that creates, creates, and creates. And because we are also creator beings, we are always creating. Even if we don't think we are creating, we are always creating. And how does it happen? It simply happens because life force always flows through you. And when she flows through us, she simply comes in and she says, what energies, what music do you have within you? What do you think about? What do you feel? And then she just flows through us and then she becomes it. And so that's how we ended up with a bit of mess here on this planet. And how basically the elements of creation, the 5 elements that we know as the mineral element that we here on planet Earth called Earth, the element of water, the element of air, the element of fire, and the element of ether, how they are really the ones that become creation. And so as they read us, it is an automated process. We can make it conscious. And so the master beings that we often speak about, like Yogananda, they make this process very conscious. Yogananda would never have thoughts that are not aligned with the will of God. And that's mastery. And so you and me, we are stepping into that mastery too. Because as long as we have unconsciousness within us, that beautiful life force that Patricia, for example, calls the gift of life, actually then becomes an expression of unconsciousness. And so that's part 1, the cleaning. You all know that we are doing the cleaning, and when we are done cleaning on our personal level, personal lives, we also step into service, of course, to clean up on a global level, collective level. And it's good to always be responsible with life force because it is a gift. And so these beautiful elements do become things. Thoughts, give them directions. So that's part 1. The second part, as you know, is to be a force of light. And so the work we are doing here with Oren, for example, we are building our vehicle of light, and we are doing it through the tetrahedrons. And it's an amazing, really, process that we will be absolutely done cleaning up. And also the solar energy is absolutely assisting us in burning all this. And you know, it's interesting when you think about how very often at the end of someone's life, we use fire, right, to burn, for example, the physical body. To me, it's definitely very purifying element, very purifying. And so we use the violet fire and we use the living fire of God. So we use the spiritual fire to also purify. So we will be done cleaning. So with the work that we do with the light body, for example, it expands our consciousness. We become much more beings of consciousness, of conscious choices, conscious thoughts. We select then our thoughts. We become so much more peaceful, much more harmonious. And then we create this beautiful field. This is just one picture that I found of tetrahedrons around us. And I'm going to show a video. It's a channeling of Bashar. And I just wanted to mention, I don't know anything about Bashar. I know that he's a very famous entity that's being channeled. But it's not about the message, even though the message is actually very powerful and very beautiful. But it's about the animation. And the animation struck me. One of you sent it to me. And the animation, I watched it like 4 times by now. It's the animation of tetrahedrons of creation. And you will see them not only around the person in the animation, but you also will see them as really the fundamental reality beyond what we see. So when you see a mountain, you will see the tetrahedrons, and it's beautiful and the message is very powerful. So let's take a look at that before we go into our transmission of the tetrahedrons. And you can find it on YouTube, and it's called Bashar's Most Profound Speech. But let us focus, even though the message is beautiful, let's focus on the animation.
We would have you understand that the flame that you are burns eternally and shall never go out, no matter how bright you allow yourself to become. We shall have you understand that you exist now and always shall, and you always have, because now is the only time and the only place and the only existence there is and always has been and ever shall be. You are eternal, you are infinite, you are spirit, you are body, you are mind, you are heart, you are soul, you are an idea, you are an expression, you are a thought, you are a dream of the infinite creation. But that is reality, and all reality is couched within your dream. You contain it all. You are the whole expression in your own individualized way. You are the matrix is you. You are everything, everything comes from you. Everything gives birth to you as you reinforce the existence of everything and everyone. All that is, the infinite creation, the fabric of existence chose you, chose that you should exist, chose you, consciously chose you. You are in that way, therefore, blessed, and we would have you understand that. Simply because of the fact that you exist, you are blessed. For you are created out of divine material, out of divine light. You are the infinite creator. And your existence was a conscious decision, a conscious thing, a conscious choice. Act in like manner. Be of like mind. Respect yourselves, love yourselves unconditionally. For out of unconditional love were you created, and out of unconditional love shall you create anything you desire. Begin to feel the energy of your interlinking with all thought forms, all consciousness, all civilizations, all eyes, all ideas, all mind, all hearts, all soul, all spirit is one. And you are one within that sea, within that pool. Know that you are the fabric and the essence of the galactic energy. Not one of you, in that sense, can be removed from the matrix without the collapse of the entire structure. You are integral in that way. You are essential in that way. And we would have you understand that because you are interconnected in this way, because everything you do has impact within the entirety of creation, that you deserve to exist in this way, and you deserve to be the fullest individual you can imagine yourself to be. That you deserve to manifest all the things you can conceive of. That you deserve the existence you have been given, or it would not have been granted to you. That you deserve all the love you can imagine, because love is what you are made out of. That you deserve all the light you can create in your life, because light is what you are made out of. Feel in the beating of your heart that it keeps pace with the rhythm and the pulse of the spinning of all the galaxies, of the fabric of existence itself, of the universal heart of infinite creation. For you all beat within that heart, and not a one of you is outside the heart of all that is. You are the blood and the life force of God itself. It is your force and your life as well. You are it, and it is you. Out of your dreams, be born. Out of your heart, be alive. Out of your soul, be light. For you are nothing else.
Amazing. So I'm going to post the link here. And I'm so grateful to whoever sent it to me, because that was really awesome. So we've seen a lot of tetrahedrons. And what else did we see? We saw how the Earth at the end merges with the solar light and becomes the solar world. Amazing stuff. I just want to go back to the tetrahedrons here so that we know what we're doing today. And so, yeah, wasn't that amazing? Very powerful. A great music too. Very intense. Yes. Yeah, even the shirt has tetrahedrons. And so Bashar said, create out of your unconditional desires. Yeah, the spiral of tetrahedrons too, you know, our DNA, cosmic DNA. And so how do we create? That's really important, because if we are creator beings, we need to know how to do this. We are now in a whole new reality. We have gone as a galaxy through a quantum shift. As he said also in the channeling, you know, we have the galaxy working through us. We have the whole cosmos working through us. And so how do we create? We have been part of, let's say, a civilization that was not so good at creation, because creation actually happens when we disconnect from what is around us, when we stop actually reacting to it. That is the key of fearlessness. And Divine Mother, she taught me so much about it. I actually will share tomorrow when I send an email in the morning with our, you know, the times for the Jesus meditation. I will maybe add a little chapter from my journal, really. And I wrote down certain things about what she taught me about fearlessness. And it was really the only test I ever experienced with Divine Mother. She was always testing fearlessness, the ability to surrender, the ability to trust, the ability to completely stay still when things are moving all around. And so it's a very funny, actually, experience that I had with her. She really went out of her way to test fearlessness. And it's really strange when you think about it. Why would this divine being test your fearlessness? Well, it is only in fearlessness that we truly understand who we are. It is only in fearlessness that we can understand what life is and what life isn't. And it is only in fearlessness, and I mean absolute fearlessness, when you think you will lose your life that we think we have right now, and we are okay with it, then actually it takes us to the next level of our divinity, because that is Christ consciousness. And so she did some crazy things, but you know, it's all good. You are in the hands of the Mother. And so it is okay to be fearless. Just thinking about it, I have to giggle. And so here we are, invited to be once again fearless beings. I know it's not always easy, but as she always says, it is our true nature, and so it is always possible. She says, yeah, look at the world if you need to. What will you find? You will find actually, you know, even suffering. You will find pain. You might even find things that are pretty hard to look at. And then she says, as you look at it, have no reaction to it. And that's the part as a human being, I find that hard. But I know she said it's possible, so it must be so. And she said, as you see whatever you see, have zero reaction to it. Even though we are compassionate, even though we are loving, we are all love, we are compassionate, we care, but at the same time, the reaction itself will not be helpful to creation. Because as long as we start fighting what is on the outside, we actually create more of it and we make it bigger. Yogananda taught me the same thing. Trying to fight something on the outside sometimes seems to be like, yeah, of course, I'll fight this. But she always said, and he always said, no, go within. And this is the most important process of creation that they taught me. Go within and don't go into the mind, don't go into the emotion, don't only go into the heart, the all-loving heart, the love that is within you, the divinity that is within you. And what is that love? The love for the divine creation. Remember that within you is infinite power, absolutely infinite. She always said it is infinite. Whatever you command into being from this level of divinity, from this unshakable oneness, this is about oneness. This is about oneness. And so we go within. We actually don't send anything in that moment. We just go within. And she specifically talked about sending love. So I only say it the way she taught me. That doesn't mean that it's right or wrong and that something is right or wrong. Not at all. So this is the process. You go within, you find the love, you connect with the greatest love for life that exists within you, that you truly are. And then you give birth from that heart. You really birth a new reality. The new reality that you so desire unconditionally in a way. That means, let's say you see suffering, you see it, it exists, and you know that within you is the blueprint for something that is actually the perfect version of reality, within which there is no suffering. But you don't even think in terms of duality. You have to go into consciousness of oneness. Because our ascension process is actually moving away from this dual thinking, this is good, this is bad, this is suffering, this is not suffering. It actually has to collapse these dualities. And so for us to actually create as divine beings, we do not react at all. And yet we go within, creating the new solution. We give birth to the new solution. And please let me know if this makes sense, because this is to me like absolutely genius. Of course, it's not, easy, but it is possible. And if it is possible, we can do it. Whatever we see on the outside, the solution is within the heart. And that's what we birth. Thank you. I want to know that I'm, communicating this correctly or clearly. So let's say, like the elephants, exactly the story with the elephants. So let's say, I look at this world and, I see stuff, don't you? We see stuff. I don't even have to name it. The whole range of it is here. Yogananda called this world, what is it, like mental hospital, what is it called? Mental asylum, something like that. So, that's the great yogi. So we know that there's a lot of stuff here. Oh yeah, great question, Julie. So we birth the new solution with love, complete love, insane asylum. Thank you, Danny. That's right. That's what he called it. So we want to be the ones who are sane, not in the mind necessarily, but in the heart. Sanity of the heart. That means we constantly are birthing. So I always say, Divine Mother said, when you walk through this world and you see stuff, even if it's little things like, let's say, trash in the park, trash on the beach, trash in the ocean. She said, okay, you see it and you give birth to a clean ocean with love. You give birth to clean beaches. And this is just a very simple, non-emotional, of course, right? Thank you. So it's all birthed from the heart, from the greatest love that we are, which is always, people call it 0 point. Yes, there is a 0 point in divine love. Divine love just is. It doesn't have like, I love you not, It's not even the opposite of fear. When people say love is the opposite of fear, not in Divine Mother's world. In Divine Mother's world, divine love does not have a polarity. It simply is the ultimate reality of oneness. There is no polarity to divine love in her world. And so let us give birth to something today. Would you like to give birth to something? Let us connect with our hearts before we go to this beautiful meditation. Today, yes, I'm excited. Today we are actually plugging into the beautiful planetary logos with our tetrahedrons, meeting with the seven spirits of, planetary creation, you can say, that will take us also to higher realms. We will get to connect with the higher realms of the planetary logos as well, connect to cosmic energies, which is important. We always have the two, the planetary and the cosmic, and we are the one in between, the channel for both. And then also we will be receiving an amazing transmission of crystalline energy. The logos is like the blueprint. Oh, and happy new moon, full moon, full moon. Full moon, happy full moon, happy full moon. It is happening in a few hours. About 4 hours from now, we will have the full moon. And this full moon is one of the 3 spring festivals. So we celebrate the spring full moons for the consciousness they bring to humanity, for the magic they bring to humanity. And today is the festival of goodwill of humanity. And so definitely connect with the full moon if you can, and work with that beautiful energy. And so let us birth this beauty into this world. Let us birth maybe whatever you envision the new earth to be. Let us birth that if you wish. And so connecting with our hearts, going into the stillness. And there is a reason for that. When we go into still meditation, complete emptiness, we disconnect from the world around us for a moment, just because we want to connect with that love that exists within us. I'm doing it with my eyes closed if you want to join me and connect with that beautiful sacred heart, the gift of you. The sacred heart is also the innocent heart. And so very often we hear the quote that Uncle Jesus gave us, that we need to be like children to enter the queendom of heaven. And that is to say that it's the innocence of the heart that opens these portals to higher realms. And so in our innocence, we can simply give birth to the new earth within us. And again, whatever that is, and simply see how you're birthing the new earth through your heart, how you're giving that energy of love into this world to bless this world with your love. And so to me, instead of sending something somewhere, we just give birth to it. It's an emanation from our heart. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Oh my gosh. Florida sky? No way. That's amazing. So Florida seems to me must have been part of Atlantis since Georgia was. And I know for sure now that also even Ohio was. So it must have been the whole Atlantean. Yeah, the East Coast. Absolutely. So this is going to be the final track on this album, the final one on course 2. This is the second course. So hopefully you are able to work with the first course, the second course, and of course, next month, which is at the end of June, we will be stepping into our third course. And again, as you know, if you buy these from Oren and Taban, they need to be purchased starting with 1 and then going up to 5. And so here we go. Tomorrow, amazing planetary work here and a transmission. And so one more thing. So this was the final journey with Oren and the second part of this work. As you know, there are 5 parts, so we'll continue until we are done. We are really working towards the World Congress on Illumination, which will be very, very powerful. I think it's going to be the most powerful that we've had so far. Many of you will be there in person, and I know that all of you will be participating online. I'm doing 2 presentations actually, and so I'm really excited to be there with you in person. So hopefully we'll get to meet there. And so I just wanted to say one thing to be clear. I didn't want to say, oh, don't send love, don't send light. You know, we all grew up with that, right? We send love, we send light. When in doubt, mimic nature. When Divine Mother came to me in 2017, it was so strange because the first thing she wanted to speak about was sending love. And I thought, well, I always send love. Who wouldn't? And she said, no, not like this. And she said, mimic nature. What does the sun do? The sun represents source. Does source send to specific people and then leaves out the others? No. The sun embodies source light, becomes it, emanates it, and then everyone who resonates and is receptive will receive it without any effort and without any, pointing and saying, this person is struggling, they need it. It was very, very powerful when she explained it. And to be honest, I'm still unpacking that information. So I still fully have not embodied it myself, but I'm just saying what she said, because of course I understand what it's like to be in this human world. It's not always easy. But she said, really just mimic the sun, mimic really Christ consciousness, emanate it, and give birth to a new reality out of love, not out of, oh no, this is wrong, I need to fix it by doing this. So as you know, Patricia always talks about it. I think she has that quote from Buckminster Fuller where she said, instead of fixing the broken, give birth to the new, which is perfect. And so that's exactly what we are doing here. So we becoming solar beings who emanate light and love just because. And in a way, you can call it transmission, just like Orion transmits and these beings transmit. Exactly. And we don't even say, I'm transmitting to the world now. We simply are it. And together we illuminate this world, but we keep birthing, right? We are creator beings. We have to birth something because otherwise nothing gets created consciously. We want to consciously be birthing these new realities, the new solutions. It's so much fun. You all carry within you solutions, right? So let's birth those solutions. So I'm going to go and do some birthing outside. If you want to join me on this beautiful Maravati,